So it's been a minute since we've played around with my actual bag, and the bag has changed during the season, and then there's also a couple things that I'm changing for the off season. So today I want to play a quick 18 holes here at Farringer Ranch, which is actually the course that I won my first MPO tournament at. I'm not anticipating shooting anything crazy hot. It's a little windy, which is always the case at this course. I also want to show off kind of what's changing in my bag. And first are 3 discs that have gone out. The first right now is Latitude 64 Honor, maybe because it's a little beat in, and maybe because I have another disc in here that's also a little beat in. There's just overlap, and this doesn't really work on my forehand anymore because my forehand's gotten worse, less touchy, and this thing has gotten a little less torque resistant. Second, surprisingly, is the EchoStar Destroyer, mostly just because there's a more fun disc that I want in the bag. And then the third is this Cash Dash Pathfinder, and we'll talk about why as we get to the discs that replace all of those guys. Now we're definitely gonna be going 2 off the top, and we're gonna talk real quick about the form thing that I'm gonna be focusing on today. And I'm really gonna do my best to only have this in the back of my mind as I'm throwing. Because even though I'm doing a lot of filming and trying to post daily videos just because I enjoy it and it's my job, I'm grateful that my channel is built up to the point, thanks to you guys, that I now get to stop focusing as much on just the content and financial side of things and really start to focus on the disc golf side of things, which is the order that I thought about when I got into disc golf. But what I'm gonna be focused on today is Gannon. I was actually texting him because I was doing that tech disc video, and I was really working on supinating here, or pronating, whichever one this is. And I got a couple really good throws that I got to this point in my reach back and then was pulling through. I would still like start to pronate a little too early, or whichever one it is. I should probably look it up and figure it out. But I was getting to the point where he's like, man, you are still way too turned with your shoulders, because I'd be like here. And I really need to be like here, because then you're able to powerfully go through instead of having to like kind of rip around. Don't quite know, but if you do that and you go here versus here, you'll feel a big difference where your shoulders stay connected. And so I noticed that a lot of that comes from me really throwing my arm back. So I'm gonna focus today on keeping my arm down and away as everything comes back, and not forcing it back, but trying to just like let my lead shoulder do most of my coiling instead of my trail shoulder. Because I'd also heard previously that trail shoulder is what helps you coil. But I think when I have a problem with over coiling, over rotating on my shoulders, I'm just gonna try to keep it quiet, stay back. What the heck? I definitely ripped that hole through the net right now. I think that also will help with my off arm movement getting down and away, and like helping to anchor the backside of my throw instead of pushing it forward. Because if it's down here, like if it stays out of the way and it gets to here, then from where it is now, shoulder position, to here is much easier than here to there. Like that's a lot of movement, and like you can feel, I'm like stretching my lats, where I don't need to do that. I just need to keep it in tight. So not gonna think about supinating at all. There's only really one thing you can think about at a time. And I personally don't mind thinking about one thing at a time and thinking about a different thing every session and having it all come together over time instead of really dialing in one, because that gets a little bit boring for me. And we'll talk about why on hole number 2. But first hole, straight ahead, 355, slight tailwind. I think we're gonna start with a strike, which is a disc that has been in my bag one of the longest. I first reviewed it about a year ago now when I was in Florida for the off season. And it pretty much made my bag immediately. I really loved it. Very similar to the ESP Athenas, the the first runs. And just a pretty good straight flyer. And the 7-speed I like because it's not gonna move as much right to left as a 9-speed. So this disc is still staying in my bag for now, but all the discs that we're gonna talk about today could be gone come the season. I'm not like super sentimentally attached to any of them. I do love this disc. And hopefully there's a sponsorship that affects some of that, but just gonna try to throw it just like straight and riding this OB line. We are gonna play the OBs, but 2 off the top makes things a little easier. Pop a hyzer, should be parked. Dang it, would have been parked. That's why we go 2 off the top. And the second one, we're gonna see if we can get it there, is the replacement to that other Pathfinder, which is just this one, which is, I think, the Ethereal, which is like a neutron swirly plastic. If you think about MEP, the Ethos plastic, which is the same as the Proton, I ran those for my run of Pathfinders, because that's the run that the Cash Dash is based on me cashing, having a mustache at the KC Wide Open. And I cashed and I was throwing that Ethos Pathfinder all over the place. But I realized that they beat in really fast, which is nice. Like I like them for hyzer flips, but right now I'm trying to only limit myself to 3 mids. And I want something that I can pop on a little bit of flex, but still will fight out of it, but isn't like as overstable as my Ultra, which we'll get to in a second. So we're gonna start this one to the left of the basket and drift it in. See, like the other one's out of bounds. Did I just park it? No, it's a little short. Oh, no, I parked it. But the Pathfinder is like in my head one of the first molds to go. I'm not in love with it at all. I mean, I love how it feels, and maybe like those Ethos ones just really took it out of my head, because I had a Neutron, or like just a regular Aura one, which is really nice, and I love how small diameter it is. But if there's like another mid that starts out a little more overstable and stays that way for a while, and you can beat into that dead straight one, I'd be okay with that. But there's just so many discs out there. And this is and that's kind of why I haven't done it in the bag since the start of my season. I really have been liking what I threw during the season, but some things just are changing. And the off season for me is a time to kind of mess around with stuff. And so this bag is probably gonna be the bag that I throw when I go and try to have a practice round. And it'll probably rotate some new molds in and out as I continue to review more molds. But my thoughts are that a sponsorship might change a lot of this, because I'm hopefully having those conversations with companies. And then just like as I continue to work on my form, and I hopefully get that extra 5, 6, 7 miles an hour that I want to or need to go from about averaging 65 and hitting in the 67s to averaging 70 and hitting in the 72 to 73s at least, which is 500 feet golf line. Pretty good start. The way that these things fly are gonna change. So that's okay, it's a good thing to know. And we're gonna go ahead, let's get on the hole 2, which they changed the position, which I'm really happy about, because it's not an elevated basket on a Mach 3 anymore. It's my least favorite basket. I'm trying something a little bit different with the filming today. If you're a camera person, maybe you can guess it in the comments. It might affect how we see the flights of the disc, but it shouldn't affect too much. But this hole is 314 feet straight down there. The wind, so we had a tail, now it's coming a little bit left to right. But real quick before we throw this one and I tell you the disc, this is also a little bit of a, hey, there's things I want to talk to you guys about that I can't before, and one of them is a little vulnerable, but I had thought about this, a lot of comments had thought about this, but most of them in a very negative way, not in a very constructive way. But I was able to finally feel comfortable enough to go and seek out a psychiatrist and get officially diagnosed or not with ADHD. And it's probably relatively apparent that I did get diagnosed with high functioning ADHD. So I think that in most ways, I'm really grateful for that, in the way that I'm able to really focus up and pursue big goals and do a lot of these things. But obviously it affects a lot of the parts of my life and my content. So if you don't like that, or you don't like the way that my content is, like, I can't just like slow down or change things necessarily. There is medication that I have that I'm not planning on taking daily, but I'll have in case I need it. So yeah, that's just a little bit of a life update. So I just felt like, obviously I'll probably joke about it a little bit, because I like a little bit of self-deprecating humor, but at the same time, I just knew that it was, I know I don't have to tell you, but I value our relationship even if it is a little parasocial. So I think we're gonna go with the first real new disc in my bag, the Proxy here, 314. Dead ahead. Just kind of pop it on some hyzer at the basket. The wind might help to flip it. It might flip a little bit. We're going slightly downhill. Don't really have to juice it too hard, but Proxy, something about this thing is money. And if this shot sucks, then I never said that. Keep it over, wind. Don't go in there. Oh yeah. Just a little past the basket all the way on hyzer. Perfect. Now my putters are actually kind of cool that we're playing at this course. Whenever I like do anything cool in disc golf, I guess, I like to mark stuff. So it's got my first MPO win, October 15th, 2023. Was at this course with this set of putters, and I'm still putting with the Pures, and I do have one really beat up throwing retro Pure. These are 0 mediums, and this is also one of the other first things to go for me. Wow, this is way past the basket. I'm not the biggest fan of how these putt, but I'm well practiced in them, and I know I'm not doing a lot of putting practice recently, so if my putting is trash today, now you know why. Excuses, let's go. I want something a little bit more stable and more reliable, because especially in any wind, like these feel very nose angle dependent, and I feel like I've gotten good enough at putting with them, but I'd rather have something a little blunter, a little more overstable, that has a more reliable finish in almost any wind. Jeez. It's kind of funny too, the tournament that I won here, I played and won it the day before, like within 16 hours of when I flew out to go and do the backhand boot camp with Drew. So unnecessary information, but now you got it. Hole 3 is a 510-foot par 4, kind of a pump up there. And we have probably my favorite distance driver release this year, which was the finish line interval. It kind of reminds me of a Grace from Latitude 64, because I think both the Grace and this have very similar rim width depth, but they don't move as much right to left as like a Destroyer would. Very neutral. We have a big head right to left here. There's a lot of OB that pinches in, so we're gonna have to give this some sort of turn, and oh, yanked it. So it's kind of funny. I thought I'd give myself a second chance, because I realized I wasn't recording, and I ran and grabbed that disc to go and throw it again, and shanked it even worse. So now we have an even harder upshot to save the par. It's not really a headwind disc, I found. really has to be like you really have to have a specific like hyzer flip line, but like kind of trying to throw a distance shot with it into a headwind. Never really gonna work, but it was the one I felt most confident about potentially getting down here for a look if I was able to. All right, so it ended up going straight out pretty much right here. Glad my heart rate had some time to cool down because now we have a nice little headwind up shot. Just like that actually, when you swoop a hyzer. That'll become a double bogey real fast. Oof. Sometimes that's why I don't throw standstills. I want to like work on them as part of my game, but I feel like I always like anchor myself on my back, like my back leg, and don't actually get my weight through, which when that happens, you open up the front of your body and you kind of swoop a hyzer. So if I don't make this putt, it's gonna be a double bogey. All right, hole 4, get back on the birdie train. Got a pretty strong kind of tail right to left, but the glitch is 100% in my bag right now. Maybe it's just for the off season, but this thing is just kind of too fun to not bag for now. Go in. A little shorty. What a weak baby. Oh, thank gosh. All right, hole 5, right around 300 feet, but pretty uphill right there. This is still in my bag, but I don't know if it's gonna stay here forever. It's gonna be the Midnight Prowl 2. Just the origin from Discmania. It's a little fast for like a mid-range. It goes far. It's got a really nice like kind of flip up. So I'm gonna push this on a hyzer to the right side, let the wind kind of push it back left as it stands up. Kind of flipping up the whole way. That might be a little long. Down there though. Oh, too low. Great line though. There we go. I don't know why, but the ante putts are kind of feeling good today. 178, dead ahead of us. We got a headwind, so I'm probably just gonna go some forehands here. I was gonna throw the pure and the glitch, kind of show you why I bagged both for right now. But instead, we'll throw my 2 zones, which right now are my Shattered Van ESP and a Banana Club Z zone. I think probably the Z zone, just to pop a touch of flex, let it get taken by the wind. It's a decent bit more stable. Should give ourselves a look. Oh, okay, maybe think about unsubscribing. I thought that was supposed to be an anhyzer. Throw it flat and hard and ace it. Drop. Drop. Oh, come on. Be kind to me. You know what's funny is I think I missed this hole more than I get it. All right, hole 7 is 483 feet down the hill. Kind of a headwind, kind of a right to left. I think we're gonna go with these CD1s. It's a 9-speed, 9.5 -1.2. It's one of my favorite like types of discs. I think the C-line one's a little more stable. We're gonna have to really kind of rip it. Don't wanna throw my drivers, that's kind of why I'm saving the mish. I don't know, I just kind of wanna throw these. See if we can even get there with them, because there is OB long. Keep flipping, keep flipping. Yes. Oh yeah, I think that's circle 1. Now that Zeta's Moon is an S-line one, it's way flippier. It's like kind of almost crazy how much flippier it is. Oh, I swooped it. It still wanted to turn, but it's almost in the road. All right, looks like we're just outside. Pretty solid shot. That's a good birdie. Twice through its luck, almost don't want to do this. Yeah, I was like, I'm not gonna do twice through luck. I was like, yeah, I will. It's luck. This one is 263, kind of straight ahead. OB just passed it. Nice birdie on the last one. Of course, classic. You gotta miss the easiest and then get one of the harder ones. Stoked to get that with that 9-speed, you know? So we do have kind of a tail right to left again. I think we're gonna be throwing this pure, retro pure, and I'll show you kind of the difference between it and the glitch. Glitch is definitely slower. It's a little more gentle left to right movement, and it doesn't really flip as hard or fast. But hopefully we can just put it underneath the basket, kind of be real smooth with it. Stay low and not hit some walkers, you know? Wow, my wind reads are really bad right now. Maybe I'm just a glitch guy. That's OB2, don't worry. Brutal. I've definitely been like swooping hyzers when I try to throw short. I've not been able to like drive through shots at slower speeds recently. I'm like trying to stop myself by anchoring myself in the back instead of just slowing everything down and being fluid with it. Alrighty, hole 9. We're gonna be throwing my 3 drivers. We got the DD, the Lux Vapor DD from the Discmania mystery box. This thing's just so fun. It's like a little uncomfortable because of how understable and like flippy it feels in the hand and how domey it is. The interval, and then I still have a Calvin Destroyer. I don't know if I'm doing Destroyers or not next year, but I'm kind of messing around with some stuff. We do have a decent headwind. I do just want to see if we can just like launch this DD though, see how far we can get it. Oh, I'm so nervous it's just gonna roll, but that's okay. Oh, it is. Car roll back to the middle. Thing is, no stability. Yeah, touch of hyzer, like it holds. It's more of a right to left than just a straight headwind, but it's not terrible. Okay, we got two all over the place. Let's try to get this one down to that tree there. This wind is tough for this hole right now. That's better. So like those 2021 Calvins were like my super beefy workhorses at the beginning of the year. I didn't really throw it even that much. I got down to that tree high, which is money, but it definitely doesn't seem to be that overstable anymore. Probably getting faster, maybe I did beat it in, but interesting. So I think we only have a couple discs left. One of them is kind of like a funky one that I put in because it's really fun and I gave my heat away. But this is mostly kind of what the off season is. It's not a ton of change. It's kind of trying to mess around and enjoy disc golf because especially last off season and this off season, the point has been to get a lot better, and you have to go through like a big kind of up and down chart. There's gonna be a lot of times where I'm like, man, I hate disc golf. I suck at disc golf. And then you can come out and throw a DD and be like, okay, disc golf's fun again, you know? You have to find the joy in it because hopefully next off season is not like this major form overhaul and it's just continuing to like tweak stuff little by little. But for now, when I'm having to do all these crazy form changes, it just doesn't make sense to try to expect myself to throw as well as I can with my own bag. Like there's gonna be some times when it's like, I throw a little better, like parking that Pathfinder money on the first hole. But most of the time, things feel and look weird. So lean into that and embrace it. We'll talk about kind of what's in my bag for a second. We got a couple discs that we haven't thrown yet. First one, actually we'll save this for the next hole. Psych. It's gonna be Envies. I have two right now, probably about 300 out, maybe a little more. It's my super straight Envy. It's pretty beat in. Oh, I thought I'd get a little flip, but I forgot throwing into a right to left like an idiot. Still give myself a birdie look. And then this one is like beef, this Prism Plasma guy. Like that's so stable. It's kind of crazy. Money though. I guess I'm glitch proxy envy. I'm just an MVP fanboy now, even though there's only MVP discs in my bag. That was a ramble. Money. Also, that DD that I threw is kind of like the replacement for the Echo Destroyer. I think I honestly might still prefer the Echo Destroyer, but I kind of like the touchiness of the DD because the Destroyer I can kind of get over on a little bit easier and it'll have a little bit more give to it. But the DD, it's nice because it like doesn't do that. So I have to actually throw it well, which means I have to throw it clean. Next disc, Birdie Disc Golf Supply Ultra. The only two Birdie discs I have are the Strike and the Ultra right now. Overstable 5-seed, kind of like a Quake, but a little more torque resistant I found. A lot of fade. Don't go B, please.
Oh, were you? Yeah.
That was pretty brutal. Alrighty, I think I got one more disc to show. Well, two actually. We'll show them both in this hole, see if either of them can get there. We have the Prodigy F9. We do have a tailwind, so it might actually work. It's 8.6, -4, 0.5. We're going to the basket that you can't see there, but it's over to the left. It's a much more difficult position, 390. Then we got some Firebirds, which this is a flat top one. I don't know why I bagged this really, because I'm not playing tournaments and I can probably do most things with this, but this kind of replaced the Honor because they're all pretty similar. We're gonna throw the F9 first because it's more fun. That'll be the one that counts. I gotta stop swooping my hyzers out the left. I keep swooping them instead of actually hitting through them. Wow, I'm bad at disc golf. That was so much more stable. All right, they all suck. Fun. To almost perfectly pin high. Part of me likes doing reviews even more than making my own bag stuff during the off season as these changes are happening, because it just doesn't feel good to suck, you know? Gotta find a way to get up and down. There's this little forehand ante gap with the Proxy. Pretty good. Alrighty, so putters, Retro Pure for throwing, not in love with it. Pures for putting, not in love with them. Rest of them, pretty simple. Glitch, I love, but I don't know if I'd actually bag for a tournament. Proxy, which I'm liking a lot. I don't know if I found my favorite throwing putter yet, and then Envies, which I love. So this one's almost too stable, but it's nice to have both of them in the bag because it is a little bit different in how it flies than my zones, which I have the ESP and the Z zone. Everything, like I said, is completely up for grabs come the new year, new season, I guess. Only 3 mids right now. I have the Midnight Prowl 2, kind of flippy guy, the Pathfinder, and the Ultra. 7-speed, I got a Strike. 8-speed, I got the F9, which is also like a roller disc. Then I have the S-Line and C-Line CD1s, and then 2 Firebirds. Champion, flat top Champion. And lastly, only 3 drivers right now because there's not a lot of driver holes here, and I don't need to be throwing drivers as I'm fixing things. And I'm not playing a lot with my bag anyways, but we got super understable Lux Vapor DD. It's like 11, 6, -3.2 or something. Finish line interval, one of my favorite drivers, and Calvin Destroyer. So let's talk about the extra goodies. Got 2 water bottles. I just found these really nice Nike water bottles on clearance at Sierra. Make me feel like I'm drinking from a sippy cup like the baby I am, especially the way I'm playing today. And then rangefinder, because you gotta have a little ego. Keys, AirPods. Typically I have like extra batteries for my camera, but I don't, so hopefully it doesn't die too fast today. Got a Sharpie, in case I forget to mark a disc for a tournament, or if I get an ace, obviously, like this one, I'm totally gonna ace, 100%. In Denver, chapstick is very necessary. I honestly think that's pretty much it. I don't carry a lot else. Oh, in my umbrella pocket, I got a little tripod to like film phone stuff. Really nice. Got all that link in the description, and then I got the Simon bag, which is cool. I think I might be putting a lot of these discs in like my Renew bags that I have or something. I have like a bunch of other disc bags, like Discology and Renew have affiliate links with them, which I have linked in the description. All the bags are fine. Maybe I get a bag sponsor eventually, but for now this bag's just easy. And I love the putter pocket at the top. It's so nice. Oh, a little flipsy daisy, huh? All right, I got a slight tail, which is the right wind to run this baby. Let's get a birdie, come on. Uh-oh. I think we need to get everything now. Since we doubled it, 315 straight ahead, into a headwind. I think we're gonna go this Pathfinder. I wouldn't trust my other one, but I think this one has more stability. It's an island green. Yeah, that's perfect. Much better stability. It might be a little long. Give ourselves a tailwind putt though. All right, gotta make sure I'm still focusing on that thing. We got a big rip here, 482, slightly downhill. Tail, right to left. I think I'm gonna go interval, kinda a little bit left on Anheuser. Oh gosh. Yeah, if you're gonna throw it on Anheuser, you gotta maybe throw it a little left. Now the DD, this is a fun guy. There it is. Nah. Too long. Good shot though, thing's fun. All right, we might have to rush through some of these holes because my camera battery's on 7%. Yeah, get stable. Gotta look. Glitch, 255. Best glitch thrower in the world? Like I couldn't see it, but that had to be inches. Cameras are weird. It was at 7, 3 holes ago, now it's at 9. 323, slight tail, it's just right to left. I'm in there probably too. Oh, that's a good disc. Hey, so I know that my camera's about to die, but I want to thank you guys so far. We got 3 holes left, but this year has been insane. I think my channel has almost tripled, and average viewership has gone up a lot. It's been much more financially secure, and hopefully it'll mean that I can get sponsored next year. Obviously, mostly for my content, not for my play. And understanding that, I'm grateful that you guys have given me this platform and just allow me to share my thoughts. And my goals is I want to go pro eventually, and know that that's a very long-term thing, but it's a fun goal to chase. I'm grateful that I have cool people who are sharing in that with me. Oh gosh. Oh my gosh, dude, that had to be so close. Well, we're screwed. It was short, it was bad, it was OB. Good thing that's not my real shot. I'll give the glitch a chance on this hole too, why not? It is a little downhill, 383. This will really prove I'm the best glitch thrower in the world. Oh, just a little right. Oh, that was perfect. Oh, come on. That disc is the best disc ever. Hope you enjoyed in the bag. I appreciate you guys so much watching our video while I air bounce this glitchy in there.